don't care what y'all say about Nick and Vanessa this time around. They did it for me. Nick's one-liners, I'm sorry, I was laughing. I was. Vanessa poking and prodding, typically, I'm not here for it. But because this season of people were already talking in the blogs, I need y'all to talk at the reunion too. I was here for it, okay? I was here for it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind, Season 5, The Reunion. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Now, because The Reunion missed a lot of things, I'm going to read my notes almost verbatim because I don't want to miss anything. Touching on some of the things that they missed, we were talking about this on Discord, so thank you, Shan, for bringing up the things that they didn't touch on. Uche's alleged cheating. I guess it's because he was not there to vouch for his own side of things, so maybe they didn't want to get into it. Izzy's final remarks after his wedding. They didn't get into that either. And I think those are the two main things that we spoke about on Discord. So I wish they dug into those things, but it's fine. Let's get into what they did talk about. Milton and Lydia are seemingly happy in their relationship, and they are talking about how they've navigated being married.
Yes, okay. We are happily married.
Good. Love that for you guys.
5:30 hits, I'm like, hey, I gotta get home to my wife.
Love it. His dad will be like, snitch on his mom and be like, oh yeah, she was with Lydia. I need someone to vent. And she's like, let's go grab dinner, sweetie. Their relationship has improved like 1,000%.
What's the best thing about being married?
Oh, the cleaning.
I love that they had a second wedding in Puerto Rico. I think that, that was real cute. Listen. Okay, guys, listen. I know our girl is a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I was here for it. I was here for their relationship. It was kind of cute. Maybe it's because they're the only marriage to make it out for season 5, but I kind of was feeling it. I was. I love that they had a second wedding in Puerto Rico to include all of her family, since she only has her mom and brother in the States. Also, Lydia and Milton's mom are apparently very close. Apparently, the whole family has become a little bit softer. They've adopted some of Lydia's characteristics, which, okay, all right. What else do we have here? I still feel like she's mothering him a little bit. However, she feels like the little bare minimum that he does cleaning around the house is enough for her. No, but age has nothing to do with it. Like, you know you got to clean up after yourself at 25. Come on. But anyways, he's not leaving dishes beside the bed for 3 days anymore, so happy days for them. Moving on. The attention then shifts to Izzy and Stacy and their confusing kiss that happened at the altar.
I didn't feel like we were ready. So it's like when you care about someone like that, you don't want to hurt them.
I think you mentioned you were waiting for the kind of a chance for you two to be alone together to talk about finances.
And I was like, is there anything I need to know? Do you have any debt? You're like, nope, we're good.
A bad credit score is not something you would want to admit. Also, just felt like there wasn't the right time, but when is the right time, right? You know?
It was so awkward watching them watch themselves back. Like it was very awkward. For Stacy, there were moments where you could see her like trying to scooch away from Izzy periodically. I'm like, ugh, this vibe is weird. Textbook Izzy was deflecting from the financial conversation. In his opinion, he felt like there was never a moment in their time on the show where finances came up to the point where he would have to divulge everything about his finances. In that last episode that we saw, Stacy had said we were at the gas station talking about the credit card. Like that would have been the time to bring it up. I guess he brought it up the next day. So I guess, but no. And also that doesn't explain why Johnie knew about your financial situation and Stacy, your third option, who you decided to then marry, didn't, or you wanted to marry her and then you didn't. So yeah, no, Izzy, no. After the show is where things get a little bit messy between these two. Apparently they left the door open, so they weren't dating, but they weren't not dating. However, after some time apart, they came back together and they just realized, yeah, this is not the vibe.
So after that,
Do you want me to?
Yes.
At first, we just agreed to take some time for ourselves, like, let's not talk.
There's after like day 3 or 4 where it's like, all right, I miss you, I need you. Something was off, and I just asked her, I was like, are you even feeling this. And I was so upset, I just walked out and I didn't talk to you for a year.
In my personal opinion, I don't understand why they would have even kept the door open. He felt like, you know, if I'm the right person, it doesn't matter if it's now or later. So she didn't want you then. Why would she want you a week from now? Like, to me, the reverse also applies. If you are the one then, you should be the one now. But if you're not the one now, you wouldn't be the one then. My personal opinion. Apparently, after that situation, they did not talk for a year. And then they bumped into each other at a bar a year later. They talked, they made out, but ended as friends. They were starting to talk about this weird foursome dating thing that they went on unintentionally. They both had their own dates, and then they all did the cooking class together. Wasn't fully paying attention, but that's what happened with them. Then they bring out Johnie and Chris and the story between them. Chris. If you were in the spoilers live, we spoke about Chris and his girlfriend, but apparently the way that this went down was that they were supposed to go. No. Chris went to a wedding out of state, and Johnie didn't hear from him for a week, and then for another week, and then he popped up dating someone else.
I did find someone who I now live with and I love, and we're very happy together. I'm always going to defend the people that I love, and...
But if I may, would you cheat on those you love?
Apparently, yes.
So the streets are saying that this woman has actually been in Chris's life prior to the show. Who's to say what their relationship was prior to the show, but it is somebody that he knew before. At the end of the day, these two have squashed their beef. They seem to be really close friends. They were kikiing while all the drama was going on with the Izzy and Stacy situation. So back to Stacy, they asked her why she had so much vim towards what's her name? I just said it. Johnie at the barbecue.
I do not apologize for saying the truth. My delivery just could have been a lot better, and I'm so sorry for that.
I do commend you for apologizing. Other people have not apologized.
I didn't open my mouth at all. You came straight up into our conversation.
Why are you coming to talk to my boyfriend and tell him not to date me?
She wasn't talking to him.
So thank you to Shan again. Shan was coming through with the tea, and Stacy has posted like her explanation as to why she had so much energy for Johnie. I guess she felt like she couldn't explain this on the show, but here it goes. She says, I have anxiously been waiting in silence to address the context of where my frustration and anger comes from regarding Johnie. During and outside of filming, she bashed me as a person as well as my physical appearance. While in the pods, she told my fellow castmates Izzy would never be happy with her. If that was who he wants, he has bigger problems on the outside. Stacy is a safe choice, which we all heard those things. If Izzy chooses Stacy, he's going to be disappointed at the reveal because she's not hot. Okay, we didn't hear that one. Some of the things were said while I was in the room, and some were said to my friends behind my back, who in turn told me. I never called her out or attacked her for doing things because I was focused on my relationship and engagement to Izzy. At the barbecue, Milton, Johnie, and I were sitting together, and Milton said, man, Johnie, I don't remember Stacy from the pods, but we met in Mexico and she's super cool. Johnie scoffed and replied, not memorable, shocking, with a sarcastic tone, making her feel like I shouldn't be a memorable person. I had yet to reply to her in a negative manner, but she crossed my boundaries with that final remark, which is why you see me respond in the way that I do after she approached me with a deceitful comment. The comment I made about Johnny's face was because I was shocked that someone who was supposedly Lydia's closest friend was acting like she believed Uche's awful accusations about her and finding humor in it. It felt like a betrayal of friendships I knew were built in the pods, and while my reaction may have been inappropriate, I know I owe it to explain why I felt disturbed by that. It feels very ironic that I'm being portrayed as a bully when in fact the actions of Johnie very much come across to me as antagonizing, for which I stood up for myself and others against. So there's more. I'm not going to read more, but essentially she's basically saying she struck first, I'm just striking back. I mean, I could see that. I can kind of see that, but I also can see why Johnie was so pressed, because if I'm looking at the hierarchy of interest, it seems like Johnie really was Izzy's first choice. And so she kind of was blindsided that all of a sudden Stacy's number one and Stacy's getting proposed to does not excuse her behavior whatsoever. I do kind of feel for Stacy though, because if you're constantly taking jabs, and you're just expected to not speak, nah, I'm gonna get my lick back. Absolutely. So anyways, that's the done deal on them. Apparently Izzy and Johnie had a little moment some weeks after, no, a week after Izzy and Stacy decided to call things. Allegedly, that wasn't even his first time hooking up with somebody else. So yeah, the Izzy, I don't know. Izzy says he's dating now. It's not official, but he's talking to somebody. Stacy's dating as well. No. Yeah, Stacy's dating as well. Johnie has been dating somebody for a year. And Chris, as we know, is also dating somebody. So everybody's got somebody. So it's time for Aaliyah to come out, and Lydia's face fell as soon as Aaliyah hit the stage. And I was like, yeah, girl, we gonna talk about it.
You had a best friend in the pods, Aaliyah.
From the bottom of my heart, I wanted her to have her happy ending. I had the best intentions, and I was trying to just be honest. And as a friend, that's how I am with my best friends.
Listen, I don't think I would ever be in a position where my best friend, allegedly, would be dating an ex of mine. But if that was the case, the friendly thing to do wouldn't be to then give all the nitty-gritty details about this person. It would be to allow them the space to get to know that person in their own way, especially if Aaliyah had expressed to Lydia, I don't want to know. And you kept pushing that boundary. So to me, when Lydia's like, this is what I would do for any of my friends, no. Nick clarified, okay, so this is where we were disagreeing on Discord. Nick had clarified that the conversation that production had with Uche and Lydia was that because they knew each other, their options were to stay in the process and not talk about knowing each other just to keep the anonymity, or leave the process. And so they opted to stay and keep the secret to themselves. In my opinion, I felt like that is a clarifying detail that I needed to make this whole thing make sense, because I felt as if Uche was saying it was a threat by production, like, oh, you can't say anything or we're gonna boot you. But to me, it was more so like, I guess it kind of sounds like the same thing, but to me, it was almost like they didn't want to leave. So it's like, well, we can just not say anything so that we can stay, rather than production saying, if you say anything, you're gonna go. I know it sounds similar, but to me, it makes a difference. So anyways, Lydia is not really apologetic for how she reacted or acted in the pods. She felt like she was vindicated to tell Aaliyah all that she told her. And then they talk about after the pods. After Aaliyah got more clarification from Uche, she believes that they both were either in cahoots going on the show, or Lydia followed him onto the show.
We had a conversation of 2 seconds. I had no confirmation that Uche was gonna be there. If I had that power, he would have not been there.
He was just still so very mean and kind of condescending. He had kind of mentioned to a few people that I wasn't the type of woman that he normally found attractive.
Here's the thing that does not make sense to me, Miss Lydia. If you had a 2-second conversation about the casting of Love is Blind in November, you mean to tell me you had no idea that this was confirmed when y'all were sleeping together in January? Was a 2-second conversation between strokes? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Nothing about these two makes any sense to me. Even with Uche, like, I do understand the production asked them not to say anything, but that's all the more reason why his reaction to Aaliyah, hearing about her cheating, didn't make sense to me, because it's like, you're judging her on her past, but she literally has to look at your past in the face every day. Have a heart. Have some empathy. Goodness sakes. Milton joins in the conversation and he says, listen, I can't speak for you and your experience, but I experienced Uche and he has a very overbearing personality. He almost was trying to sabotage everybody's relationship, it seems like. And so he can see that everything is not just on Lydia. There's a part to play on Uche's side. Unfortunately, Uche wasn't there, so we can't even hear his side in front of everybody else. The deduction that I got was that nobody likes Uche. Literally nobody. Aaliyah did talk about them dating afterwards, and she was saying that on top of him not feeling her, which we do know from her interview with Cameron, he was condescending, and she felt that. And then the things that he was just saying about her and about other people behind their backs was nasty. And yeah, nobody's feeling Uche. It kind of makes sense why he didn't show up. He also had texted Lydia and Aaliyah when the show was about to air, if they had anything that they wanted to question him about, that he can add clarification. My question is, if everybody else is the villain besides you, what do you need to clarify? What do you need to clarify? And if Lydia was so horrible, this is the thing that I will not understand, guys. Some people in the comments want to fight me saying, no, Lydia's crazy, Lydia's da. I'm not fully disagreeing with you. What I'm asking you in return is, why does Uche keep coming back? Why are you texting this woman a year and a half after the show has wrapped? Nah, something about Uche, it's not all the way there for me. Captain America shows up, and baby Taylor, my baby girl, I really like Taylor. This girl is so pretty. JP really missed out. But yeah, they asked him, what's the deal? What happened in Mexico?
So nervous when like cameras are like right on your face.
What about when the cameras weren't there?
I mean, it was still weird because like, what are we supposed to do? We're just supposed to sit here?
I don't think that he was attracted to me from the second we met each other.
Definitely the first time I saw her, it was a little shocking and off-putting. I just think it's kind of fake.
JP is full of it. And again, on Discord, some people were saying, hey, listen, you know, considering his past, he might have trouble expressing himself and stuff. I would accept that if that's what he gave as the reason to why he would not communicate with Taylor. But instead, what he chose to say was, oh, the cameras were there and it was very overwhelming. Okay, but you didn't speak to her when the cameras are gone. Then it was, oh, the makeup, she seemed fake and whatever. But then I thought you just said it was the cameras. And then he said, well, if you're constantly hounding me about not talking, that's not a way to make me open up. But I thought it was the makeup. So JP, pick a story and stick to it, because now we have 7 different storylines and none of them are making sense to me personally. Okay. She had called him out on being, what did she say? She said he belittled her. He wasn't attracted to her and he didn't reassure their relationship. And he had apologized for all of that. So to me, inadvertently, that's him admitting to all of those things, even though he didn't say it outright. And then I loved that Taylor remained the victim. I love it, because they asked her, well, were you attracted to him? I feel like she wasn't. But at this point, you have to say yes. You have to maintain your victim status at this point. I was so into him. I was so involved in this relationship. I have been done a disservice. Like, you have to stick to it. And Taylor stuck to it. I loved it. What else happened? They're both dating people. For her, it is unofficial, but she is seeing someone. And JP has been with somebody for a year. So yeah, there's that. The episode ended with this little game that y'all know I don't care for these stupid games. However, we do need to talk about the moment with Miriam.
What does Miriam do for work?
I got you, Miriam. I know your job.
Everything?
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
Now, I had my own suspicions about Miriam's career. I'm not even going to lie to you. But I did not appreciate them making her the butt of the reunion here. Like the butt of the joke. I didn't like it. Mainly because she wasn't a major part of what was going on. If they were talking about, you know, what do you guys think happened at the barbecue with Miriam and Uche going back and forth, I would understand that. But they're throwing it back all the way into the pods. Miriam's not even over here, and you're gonna make her the butt of the joke. I didn't like it. Still skeptical myself, but I felt like the host had that was in poor taste. Let me say that. It was in poor taste. All in all, what are my impressions on the reunion? I feel like it was better than the last reunion, because the last reunion, everybody was like, no, we're just going to lead with love, and we love everyone, and let's not dwell on the past. Let's not shut up. I wanted to know the tea. I felt like I got enough tea as possible. I wish that Uche was there, but I guess he just hid with his tail between his legs. But he's been doing a lot of podcasts. So there's that. If I see any tea that is worth talking about, I might bring it to you guys. But if not, that is it for Love is Blind Season 5. It has been a pleasure talking to y'all. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Y'all got me to 40K. I feel like we can get to 50. We can get to 50 by the end of the year. I think you could do that. I believe in you. So as always, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.